first thing I just want to pass on to you, and also to members of the audience, is that your biological family may, at this time, under these new laws, actually not be your friend if they have been co-opted by the Soulless Alliance that is known by many other names as the New World Order, the Obama government, the Democrats, the Republicans, all those different names, okay?
Right.
Okay, that's number one. And that's how this whole thing legally has been possible.
Okay.
Okay, number two, the next step you need to do is, and I can't advise you here because I haven't been, but you need to get a lawyer. Either they call the ACLU or call the county legal advice, whatever, and tell them you want to file habeas corpus. Okay, that's one of the two great writs.
Yeah, and that's, let me tell you,
Yeah.
I did try to file this habeas corpus. The attorney that represented me in the trial, the commitment trial, commitment hearing, I tried to file this, and they said that I couldn't file it because this is a civil. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
No, that does not sound right, because I have successfully used habeas corpus in a mental health commitment in Cameron County, Texas.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I have successfully gotten a person. I have successfully gotten a person out of the mental health dungeon. The mental health dungeon with all of the, people who are like out of their minds.
Right.
And successfully gotten them out of there on the basis of a family commitment, because the family had been co-opted by the Soulless Alliance and the New World Order.
Mm-hmm.
And I got them to have the judge release that person.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So it works, and it was totally civil. It was a family commitment, the same thing that you are there because of a family commitment. Okay? Okay, that's the second thing. You got one, you got two. Got to get a lawyer.
Okay.
Three, ultimately you can represent yourself if you aren't going to have a lawyer, but you have to remember that there is precedent in Texas and Cameron County.
Okay.
Okay, and you can quote me.
Okay.
Okay, now the third is this attitude.
Okay.
You have to
play the game.
No. Let me use different words. You have to increase your altitude and lower your attitude.
Okay, explain that to me.
Okay, just get more into your higher self.
Okay.
And let go of your lower self.
Okay.
You're acting out resistance to authority.
Right.
And that's not what's at stake here. What's at stake is your liberty.
Right.
And so you what you do is get back in. That person who said it is absolutely right. Get back in and find your center, which is in your solar plexus, and then find your soul there, which is all over your body, and get back into your soul. Right. And then start engaging with all those around you, including the civil authorities and the mental health authorities, engaging them in soul-to-soul communication.
Okay.
Some of them will have souls, and some of them will just be carbon units.
And that's what I've been saying. There are some of them.
And some of them will be Dracos, but it doesn't matter. You just address the ones that have soul. You just address each person soul to soul, and whatever they are, you just find them. But your goal is to regain your liberty.
Right.
Okay, that's your goal.
Yep.
Okay. So those are the three things. Realizing that you're there on a family commitment. Number two, that that you are not any of those things, a danger to yourself, a danger to others, because you have a major world radio network that just had me as its guest, an author, and they can check out my books at Inner Traditions. Just tell them to go onto Amazon.
Right.
And that you've been on my show, and they can go to this interview at newsinsideout.com within about 40 minutes.
Right.
So, tell them to get off it and get into the 21st century. But the thing is, I have to tell you to increase your altitude and decrease your attitude, because you're in social reality now, and all you're doing is trying to regain your liberty. This is like a reality TV movie, except you're online and you're trying to get out of there. That's all.
So funny that you say that. That's exactly what I've been feeling.
Yeah. But the thing is that if you start engaging in fancy Dan, let me do some judo over the beds,
right.
then you're tuning into a different reality TV channel that's going to make it really hard to get your liberty, right. Because you want your liberty back. Okay, so you learned a lesson about your biological family and about how the family can be used for commitment, which I urge everybody listening here to begin to understand that. Okay, and how the psychiatric and mental health system, and I say this as a former deputy administrator of a federally qualified health center, is being used as part of the prison system and the political prison system in the United States.
Right.
Okay. So you have my number. I'm a member of the District of Columbia Bar.
Yep.
And I've been an international war crimes judge.
Right.
And I say that you go forward, because there are no charges that are applied to you, no. and they have no reason to keep you. However, you are going to have to increase your altitude and decrease your attitude.
And that makes perfect sense. That to me is, it's like, as today I was talking to my social worker, and we were going, they want to get me back just to Long Beach, but oh man,
and when he drove you to the homeless place, maybe that's a black hole to feed the Dracos. I don't know. So all that I'm saying is that your objective now should be to regain your liberty, and just focus on that track. And just remember now, from a legal point of view, say, number one, this is a family. I'm here as a result of a family process.
Sure.
I am here as a result of a family commitment.
Yep.
Because they have to jump through certain hoops. Number two, I do not have the behaviors. I'm an employee of Truth Frequency Radio.
Yep.
The owners here, I've spoken to a major guest who's a major author, who's a judge,
right.
And who's an attorney who can vouch for me,
right.
And who has represented me at other proceedings. And then that you want habeas corpus, and that Mr. Weber assures me that he's successfully released persons in my position
You know what that
under habeas corpus in Cameron County, Texas.
Cameron County. Do you know was it the state of Texas against? Do you remember what the full title of the case was?
It was the state of Texas against Alfred Lambremont Webre.
Oh, it's against you.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was exactly in your shoes.
Yeah, exactly, in my shoes. Yeah, this is what I want.
And I was I was a world known author on extraterrestrials.
And see, this is
and on conspiracy theory.
Exactly, because what they wrote. I mean, I was reading the report, and they were saying that I was in serious paranoia, all of this stuff. And I'm like,
family. What you do is you go back and you say, this is a family commitment. Mm-hmm. That's what they're going back to. Oh, his sister complained.
Right.
Yeah. Look, I'm giving you the keys here.
The keys, and I am going to press forward on this.
Yeah, you have to. They have absolutely no grounds.
No.
They have absolutely no grounds because this entire case is based on a family commitment, which is based on your sister's belief system.
Right.
They co-opted your sister into a belief system.
They don't know it. They don't know it consciously. They're getting it subliminally, right?
No. They're reading the letter of the law. When a family member calls in, blah 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 blah. You get it?
Right. No, I got it. And like one of the anti-Donnie Gilson, and I brought it out. I looked at her and I said, I know who you are. And she kind of got fearful a little bit. And I said, you know what? I know who you are. Your voice is very, very similar, very familiar to me. And I believe you are, and I'm not going to say the name, but it was definitely, she was like, how did he figure this out? I'm like,
yeah. Look, they could be bringing in, because this is like crisis actors.
Yes.
And it's run on Imagineering.
Right.
And what they do is that they create Imagineering, and that's how they manage many different subcultures under the surface, right, is by troops of AI and trained individuals like that nurse that are then managed around by a master AI. Okay?
Right.
That's how it's done.
Right.
The thing is that once one figures that out, you go, okay, big deal. But the thing is not to get enmeshed in it.
No, and
so like you don't necessarily have to give away. I'm just trying to pass this on. You don't necessarily have to give away that you understand the plot if you're in their territory.
Right. Because
you're in their territory now, your goal is to want to regain your liberty. And then once you're out, you can tell us all about it.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of interesting things that I do want to tell you all about that I witnessed.
Yeah. This is AI land. This is what you're reporting from firsthand.
Yep.
Is the battle of the AI, artificial intelligence takeover. It's the robotoids versus the soul-based humans. You're reporting from the front lines.
Yeah.
Danny Gilson, you're a magnificent reporter, sir. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, okay, Donnie.
You gonna throw this up on Exopolitics then?
Yeah, sure. Listen, just really gather yourself together. You're not put in any situation that you can't handle.
Right.
And so the important thing is to spend a lot of time meditating, building up your inner strength.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then just if you have access to paper and pencil, which hopefully you do,
I do.
Just write out your plan. Yep. Number one, write out that this is a family-based commitment, mm-hmm, and I don't meet the criteria of being here, and therefore I'm entitled to habeas corpus release on this, and there is precedent for this, My employer wants me out. My lawyer says immediate release. And, that's it.
Sounds good.
Bingo.
I will keep you updated, and we'll go from there.
Okay, good enough. God bless.
All right. God bless. We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye-bye.